Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and welcome to 2025. And I thought I would start off the year with an easy video, mainly a collection video. And ever since it's been 3 years, no, 2, since the last final collection video, and I have a lot of vinyl now. I collected a lot more, and I want to show all of you my updated vinyl collection. And I'm probably gonna do this in 2 more years if I'm still uploading videos, because I feel like if I do one every year, it's not gonna be like as long. And I feel like I'm gonna it's not gonna be like a good video. Like I'm probably just gonna show like 4 and that's it. I want to show like a big chunk. But before I get into that, before I go into tangents, that's what I meant to say. Let's start with my collection. And one to start off with that I got was King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard's Murder of the Universe. Oh shit, actually, this album specifically has a pamphlet to tell the lyrics and the story. You know, since this is a story-based album. I completely forgot that was there. But, so, ever since I've stopped listening to King Gizzard, I've always been more critical of them, and especially this album, because, one, the sections, I don't mind long, and actually, no, I really mind long albums. They're just like not really my thing. Oh, it's only like a select few, like Fantastic Planet from Failure. I think the other one is probably another one that I liked was Husker Du's, Zen Arcade, the double album. But besides that, I can't think of any other long albums that I like. And this one I don't really especially like is because like the sections, because this album's divided into sections, especially this one is like so dragged out and so repetitive, it just gets annoying. Only like slightly, there's just like a slight key change, and then there's like a slight change for like a second, and then it just goes into the new thing, goes into the same thing over and over and over and over. Just like, can you make like something new, like one continuous song? I liked it when you did that, guys. And same thing also like with this section as basically well, but that's what I kind of give credit for this third section. But also the individual songs are just dragged out and so repetitive as well. And these are just like one big song, like it's just continuous transition. But that's what I give this one for, that they're all kind of different, but they're still kind of like drony as well. Okay, so my favorite song off this album, I think, is Digital Black, which is the only one, probably the only song that is probably worth talking about and is like the most unique one. But that's like the outlier. The rest I feel is kind of just like really tedious. And speaking of tedious, I think it's great we talk about the spoken word, because it's like the worst part of the album. It's not, spoken word is not really my thing. I just don't like spoken word at all. No offense to like Leah Senior or anything, but like I'm pretty sure her voice is like nice, but yeah, spoken word's just not really my thing. And I got one more other King Gizzard thing in my pile, and it's Infest the Rat's Nest, specifically at Red Rocks 22. And the thing that makes this special, because I don't like live albums, is that I was here. I was here at this show with my cousins and my uncle, and I don't remember most of the songs on this album being played. I only remember March for the Rich and Planet B being played, but like, it's kind of like this is special because I was there, and when I listen to it in my room, I can close my eyes and just like envision my time there. And this was my first concert, so that makes it even more special. So yeah, I have a great affection for that one. So my next band that I have are obviously the Melvins. I have Bullhead and Houdini right here. But I'm going to talk about Bullhead because first, this is considered what I feel like this is widely considered the best Melvins record, and I would agree. But it's always like a toss up on certain days, and that's between this album and Ozma. But now it's this day, I think Bullhead's gonna win it over. I think it's my favorite Melvins record. I feel like most of these because it's the first time the band ever showed a sludge sound. Like Boris is a very it's like I will call it an epic. Like it's so like it's long and it's like so and it's like it doesn't get drony in any way, and I feel like it's the perfect way to introduce that said sound. And speaking of like the sludge songs on here, only talking about them, Ligature is the best sludge song on this album and is also my second favorite song on this album. I feel it's because I feel like it's like perfectly paced and not really long like the rest of the sludge tracks on this album. And also I feel like mainly like sometimes on the riff it goes even heavier and harder than Boris. But my first favorite song I think on this album is probably Zodiac because I love how it catches you off guard from the pattern of sludge punk with its like fast like what if it's like fast style, and I also like how it transitions into a sludge song as well. Like I just think that's really good. I guess I can talk about You're Blessed, which I think is just like fine. I like Buzz's like kind of like 70s rock lyrics near like the end of the song. But yeah, all of the like I don't really have anything else to say about this album. All of it's already been said. And I feel like that can be said. I feel like that can't really be said with Houdini because this, obviously, when I first started listening to Melvins, was my favorite album, you know, because that's just, come on, like, it's like their most hooky record, their most poppy record, and that makes sense for their major label debut. But the thing is, there are some songs on here that I don't really care for anymore. Like I just don't care. Like, they're just, like, really derivative. Like really, yeah, derivative is the right word. And there's also like some stuff that I do not like on here. Apparently, like Lizzie, because it's very repetitive, of like the loud, quiet, loud style, and Going Blind, the Kiss cover, because it's just such a boring. It's so boring. And when that guitar solo hits, I know it's supposed to give you like such an epic feeling, but like nah, I just feel bored. It's just bored, which is basically what Kiss is, just a boring rock band. But besides that, also like the derivative songs on here, something like Set Me Straight, which is I heard like pop metal, and songs like Kopachi and Teat, which are fine songs, but I just think that they're just like really basic. But there are still some good ones here, like the opener Hooch, Honey Bucket, obviously. What was that one? Night Goat. It's a little iffy for me. Weirdly enough, though, you know what my favorite song on this album is? It's weird. It's the weirdest one. It's Sky Pup. I just listened to it earlier today. I think I heard. I don't even know how to describe Sky Pup actually. It's like I heard it was like Melvin's doing funk. That's like the closest interpretation I ever heard of someone describing it. But like it's just so like weird, and I just like love it. So yeah, that's just Houdini. And that's it for the Melvins, because next I'm gonna talk about my other favorite band, Jawbreaker. Definitely in my top 3 favorite band now. This is actually my favorite like punk band, mainly, and this is widely considered their best record. Same thing with like Melvins with Bullhead. 24-hour Revenge Therapy. And I think this is on top, like the number 2 favorite record. I have my number 1 right here. But I feel this this is my favorite Steve Albini album, rest in peace, because just like a lot of the bands that he produced for, it really brings out the band, like the live production, and how like just like the live production and how it brings out the band's talent so much. And I think the only thing I didn't enjoy about the production is probably Schwarzenbach's voice, like Blake's voice. Like on some songs like In Satting Around, I think it was like Ache or something where it just got like kind of like whiny a little bit. But I think that's like the production's fault. But this is a solid record. My favorite emo band. So, and I feel like if you're into emo, like I talk about like American Football, Sunny Day Real Estate. This is like the essential band for emo, and I advise you to check them out. And also, before I switch to my number one favorite Jawbreaker album, fun fact: these matches on the cover is a tribute to Def Leppard's Pyromania. It's a little neat fact about this album that Blake didn't even think that anyone would get. So my number one favorite Jawbreaker album is Bivouac, and I feel like a lot of you who was watching this who are Jawbreaker fans just got caught off guard because this is by general consensus, people say the worst Jawbreaker album. And I do not know why specifically. I think it's mainly because of its bad production. And it's like, because it kind of like, yeah, I feel like that's like the main curse. I heard like people say that this is like Jawbreaker doing grunge, and I don't think this is grunge. I feel like they're getting grunge from this bad production. But I don't know why this album is so slept on. Like there's such like a lot of good songs on here. Like the opener Shield Your Eyes, Sleep, which is like the perfect like song that I like pop song that I don't see everyone talking about. Donatello, PS, like actually every song on this album is it's a really consistent, like it's a really good. I feel like this is the true fans pick. Like, I don't want to be elitist, but I feel like this is giving true fans pick energy. Same thing with System of a Down's self-titled in like kind of like that kind of like realm for me, in my opinion. But the one thing I don't like about like this album and Jawbreaker kind of like in general is that they don't do closers well. Like, I don't think they do closers well at all. So like Bivouac, I think, is like the perfect song they can get to a closer. I don't like how it transitions to that closer though, because Parabola is just like a normal like quirky like punk song, like emo song, and Bivouac is just like a sad, like gloomy, like just long like ballad. Well, no, not a ballad, just like long and kind of like sad. It's like a down tuned song, and like it's perfect as it is. But I don't like how it transitions to it. So, yes, this is Bivouac, underrated Jawbreaker album. Listen to this, please. It's their best album. I don't like. Please let this be more popular. It's the true fans pick. So I had to say that again. I already talked about this in my R.I.P. Steve Albini video, but I got Atomizer finally on vinyl. Thank God. Ever since I heard this album and also Bivouac, I've wanted it on vinyl. So yeah, I've already said everything about this, my review for this album on my R.I.P. Steve Albini video. So yeah, go watch that if you want to see, like, go in depth. Next I have here is X. I actually really love X. I think this is my number two favorite record from them. My first one's Under the Big Black Sun. And one thing I really love about this band mainly is how like I really appreciate it when bands are like a punk band, but they're really kind of like creative with it. And I love the fusion, especially on this album. Really, the fusion of rockabilly, like the old school like rock and roll rockabilly, and just punk, like especially songs like Johnny Hit and Run, Pauline, Your Earphones Off the Hook. Like Sugar Light, that actually kind of sounds like an Elvis song, like, not gonna lie. But it is just like a solid album, and like it really is creative, and I feel like I could show this is one of the punk bands I can show to like my parents or something, or like to the older people of my family, and they would like it. Just because it's like it fuses the old rock and roll kind of like edge with like a new thing with the new genre like punk. And speaking of like old stuff, I got another Kinks record. And this dethroned Arthur, which I'm not even like crazy about anymore ever since I made my last one. I think it is my favorite Kinks record. And mainly because I love the Americana style of this album. Like my God, like I feel like this and another album on here is the best morning album and like the best like fall album. Like I can just listen to this like in a cool fall morning and I can just like chill to it and it'll just make my morning. So yeah, this is a very, very I is this album underrated? Because I don't really know in the Kinks discography. Like there's just like a bunch of albums on like the Kinks that I see like everyone talking about, but I don't know if this is underrated or not. So this really good album. Go listen to it. If so. And speaking of like old, my grandma found some of her other vinyl when she was younger, and she gave them to me to listen to, and I haven't listened to them yet, actually. So I just want to show them off here. The first one she gave me was Chicago's second album. It's a double album. Fleetwood Mac's Rumors and Grand Funk Railroad's Survival. Here and green, yeah. I probably by which one I'll listen to first. I'll probably think Chicago or this, mainly because for this one, because I love the album cover, and my grandma's been hyping him up hyping him up when like I was little. So yeah, it's better to live under the hype, grams. Okay, so we're approaching the end here, and it's just I'm gonna warn you, this is all just a stretch of punk. Punk is my favorite genre of music, and it's all just like I went down like the punk rabbit hole, essentially. And so, where do I start with punk when going to the precursors of punk, the Stooges? This self-titled record, I don't really say the self-titled record is really punk at all. Like I think, well, that's kind of an understatement. I Want to Be Your Dog is obviously kind of like a punk song, but the rest is like garage rock mainly. Like 1969, No Fun, Not Right, like Little Doll, like they're all just like short, like poppy garage rock songs. And it's fine. It's fine. I'm not like that guy. Like I'm not gonna be like, oh, it's not punk. I don't hate it, or I don't hate it. I don't hate it. It's just fine. But the one like qualm I do have with this album is the pacing, because because the album opens up with 1969, thus like just a poppy garage rock song, and then goes with I Want to Be Your Dog, like a really like fast like rock and roll song, and then it goes to a 10-minute song called We Will Fall, and I don't really like get that at all. And it's really like chill, like only like meditative in a way, and like the pacing is just all over the place, and I do not get it. I just do not get the logic behind this. And then they have, and after We Will Fall is just another like string of like poppy garage rock songs with No Fun and Real Cool Time. But then Anne comes on, which I really love Anne. Anne is cool, and then it's just like this like weird like moody song, and with like Iggy's like choir like voice, kind of like falsetto voice, and I feel like they should have like put Anne like right before We Will Fall, or they would put like Anne We Will Fall before Anne, and I feel like that would have made the album a little bit better. But hey, it is what it is. I don't want to like focus on it too much. So the next Stooges record that I got was Funhouse, which actually is my favorite Stooges record. It because it's so like wild and crazy, and actually has a punk edge to it, like with like down on the street, Loose, TVI, and then like just like like the first side of the album really is just really it just really like introduces you in. This is the front. This is like the opening flap of the band. Like I'm showing just right now. Like the opener just like really just like sets you in, and it's just really just this like constant stream of just like fast, just like cool punk songs. And then like it gets into like the weird stuff later on in the middle and the end of the record. Like after TVI, it goes to like Dirt, which I really love Dirt. I think it's like my third favorite track on the album. It's really like slow and it's a good change, and it's a good like change of pace. And then it goes like to 1970, which I think was like my number two favorite song from the track. And then it just goes into like full just like saxophone and just like noise with LA Blues as the closer. Yeah, it's a really good album. It's like the favorite. It's my favorite, and I feel like it's a lot of people's favorites, and you should listen to it. And I got into Iggy Pop solo stuff. I got Lust for Life on Record Store Day last year, and everything about, like, remember how I said like the Kinks with Muswell Hillbillies was my morning record? Well, this is also kind of a morning record. Like, and also seeing like Lust for Life in like Train Spotting, and like him just like running across the street. This only just like made the song like more like epic for me. And like when I'm going to school and I like walk into school, like I just listen to this song and like I just really love it. And also with songs like Some Weird Sin, Success, Tonight, Neighborhood Threat, you know, just a solid morning record and a great, you know, solo record from Iggy. Next is The Wipers. Actually, this actually for some time was my favorite punk band because it's pretty much alternative rock, really. Alternative rock before I think Husker Du, I think. And like pre-grunge, and pre-grunge, and mainly this is one of the, I don't want to say one of the better records, but one of the ones that I wanted on vinyl, and one of the ones I prefer, because the production is the most actual, like, good, and it's the more clear. The other two, like Youth of America, Over the Edge, are like very like garage band kind of like production. So this is like another solid record. If you want to learn about the history of grunge, I would recommend this band. It's one of the more underrated punk and grunge band in general, and no one really talks about them like at all. So you should really listen to this. Next is Wire, Chairs Missing. I was so mad that Pink Flag wasn't there at the final shop, Atomic Wax Records. Go there if you're at El Paso. You should go there. I was expecting to get Pink Flag, but then they had this, so I just decided to get this. And this wasn't a bad kind of like purchase at all. I do like, it's a great blend of like post-punk and just like normal like pop songs kind of. Like, yeah, Outdoor Miner, From the Nursery, Used to, Too Late, you know, just pop. I mean, well, the only pop song on here is probably Outdoor Miner, but the rest are just punk songs. But I think it's just a great blend of like their experiments, or like their experimental side, and it's like really like showing that, and not just like full blowing like showing catching the audience off guard. Like they're actually like trying to give it a chance. And the last vinyl that I have here is the Germs. And I had a lot of favorite punk bands when I went through the punk rabbit hole, and the Germs was actually my favorite one, another one of my favorites, and actually was my favorite for like some time, mainly because I love the story of the Germs, how they became like a joke band from like a joke talentless band from forming the Sex Boy to like a great band making, you know, like GI, like it's just crazy to me how how great that they got. It's just, my favorite song is probably Lexicon Devil, Media Blitz. The other newest one, Let's Pretend, Communist Eyes, Hoochie Daggers Crime, American Leather, you know, just a bunch of like solid songs. So that's it for my vinyl collection actually. And I would recommend all of the bands that I just listed here. They're all really good music, and I hope you guys I hope we can talk about it in the comments. So yeah, see you and happy 2025.